Playtime is over. Now you are a champion. God is my witness. Imperfect perfection. Living my mission and winning. See, we are influencers. We have fear but don't stop. I have the confidence to rise to the top. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. All I need is inside of me. I am enough and now I see, yeah. I will reach my destiny, yeah. I don't need your permission, yes, I'm on a mission, I'll win. Oh, oh, oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Now listen, I want y'all to repeat after me, okay? Because we're going to make some declarations in here today. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say. I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. Say. I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see me. Say. Say I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say we are standing bolder, we're shoulder to shoulder. We are standing bolder, we're shoulder to shoulder. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Hey, yeah. We have powerful words. We have powerful minds. We use our voices and freedom takes flight. And we're ready to work. We're ready to win. We have a strategy and now we can begin. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Now you are a champion. God is my witness. Imperfect perfection. Living my mission and winning. See, we are influencers. We have fear but don't stop. I have the confidence to rise to the top. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. All I need is inside of me. I am enough and now I see, yeah. I will reach my destiny, yeah. I don't need your permission, yes, I'm on a mission.
Good afternoon, great afternoon. I don't like to just say good, I like the word great. Great afternoon to everybody who is tuned in here to Impact the World Radio at voxwave.com, and to all of our folks who are joining us on Facebook Live. Marcella Barnes, welcome. Felicia Lucas, welcome. Andrea Palmer, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Latrice Burns, thank you for being here. Hello, why do I always jack your name up, Prabjeet? I'm just going to say Prabjeet Singh. Hey, how are you? It's been a long time. Nika Corbett, thank you for being here. Hey, Terrell, thank you for being here. If you guys would be kind enough to share this out, because we have some amazing women who are in the studio with me today, and they're going to give us some juicy stuff about how they're impacting the world with their unique gifts and interests and talents. And I'm sure that you're going to be inspired and moved and motivated. Hello, Kawambi Dorsey. Thank you for being here. Hey, Haki, how are you? Cheryl Brown, welcome. Adria Hooks, welcome. You guys, share this out, share this out. We like to make sure that if we are doing something amazing with phenomenal women, that you have access to it and that we're sharing it with the world. So I want to, first of all, look, every time that you're here, every Wednesday from 12 to 2, you always hear this amazing song that plays. And you'll hear me singing it because I just love it. It just has this little hook that's like, playtime is over, right? We have got to thank an amazing woman. Her name is Tammy Turner, and she not only wrote that song, but she produced the song, went into the studio and produced it, and performed it at my annual Playtime is Over Women's Business Conference. And so we thought it would be such a phenomenal thing to use that as our core song, our anthem here for the show, Impact the World, because Tammy is definitely impacting the world with her unique gift. That voice, woo, it's heavenly. And if you don't know her, look her up. Google her. She was actually one of the finalists on Sunday's Best. Remember that used to come on television? Yeah. And she's performed at the Kennedy Center. I mean, the list just goes on and on. So we're giving a huge shout out to Tammy Turner. And if you guys would tag her and let her know that we're talking about her, we're saying good stuff about her, that we would appreciate that as well. I want to also welcome G. Alfred Palmer. Thanks for being here. Andrea Palmer Bergen, thanks for being here. Felicia Lucas, welcome. Felicia says yes, and she was phenomenal singing at PTIO. Yes, honey, yes. All right. So who's next to me? Well, her name is Candidly Kim. That's what they reference her as. Let me tell you a little bit more about her before we jump into our conversation. So Candidly Kim is a parent and lifestyle blogger based out of Washington, D.C. She writes on various topics such as parenting, career tips, relationship advice, and how to single parent effectively. I love that. Her goal is to coach readers through her blog pieces to grow and become the best version of themselves that they can possibly be. Oftentimes, the key to unlocking that growth is learning how to effectively navigate through life's toughest moments with a level of grace and ease. Taking a moment to step back and look at things from a different perspective is what Candidly Kim encourages her readers to do. She's a mother to a beautiful 12-year-old daughter and a recent newlywed. You better work, girl. She said just in November, so she's real, because I was like, how newlywed? She's a really, really newlywed. So congratulations to you on that. To her hubby, Dominique. Congratulations, Dominique. We shouting you out. Her hobbies include, I love that she included this in her bio. Like, oftentimes we get just kind of this is who I am, the very professional. But I love that you included some of the fun stuff. Like, it just made it so unique. So her hobbies include eating amazing food. Hello, I can relate.
Super important.
And snapping pictures of it. Well, it just wouldn't be right if you ate something yummy and didn't snap a picture. That's my perspective.
Right.
And she loves watching crime scene investigative shows on Netflix.
I do.
She's a Christian and an active member at her local church. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And you look beautiful, by the way. I love this ensemble that you have put together.
It's called the Working Mom Ensemble.
There you go. I love it. So you are a parent and lifestyle blogger.
Correct.
Let's just start with, how did you get started as a blogger? What was the appeal for you? What made you get interested? Because I know that we have some of our viewers who have an interest in blogging, but I don't think they're sure exactly why they should do it and even how they should get started. So let's start with how you got started and why, and then we'll talk about some tips that we can offer others.
Sure. So initially I got started as a parent blogger, and what I was finding was I wasn't getting enough resources online for dealing with the different situations that I was being faced with. So without that, I had to learn the hard way by actually going through it. So I said, well, how can I help others so that they don't have to go through it? Or if they do, they can go through it with the level of grace and ease.
Yeah.
So that's how I started. I started running into a lot of issues, and nothing that's abnormal to normal parenting. It was just new for me, and I wasn't able to deal with it in an effective way. So lessons learned, and I'm able to blog and help people to not make those mistakes. So that's what I did. And another aspect of my blog is I like to look at things from a different perspective. Oftentimes people look at things in this box. If this is A, then it next has to be B. So for me, I always look at situations from another perspective to say, hey, maybe it's not door A, maybe it is door B. What would you consider that? Because a lot of times the conventional way of doing things or raising my daughter, it didn't fit for us.
Yeah.
So I had to step out of the box and see things from a different perspective. Well, hey, if this is happening, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. So, and that's how I got started. And along the years, I was like, well, I have a lot of lessons I'm learning at work. in my relationships, all over. Let me just be a lifestyle blogger and allow women and, parents in general to look at me and say, let me not make that mistake. Let me learn from Kim and read her blog as to how she handled that. And then, of course, tweak it to your own particular needs.
Yeah, I think that's so critical that you said that you saw, there's this little cartoon that my kids used to watch, and then, now my kids are 10, 11, and 14. They don't quite watch cartoons anymore,
right.
But it was like an animated movie, and there was this, it was called Robots, and there was a statement, it's like, feel a need, see a need, fill a need. See a need, fill a need. And it sounds like that's what you did. You saw a need,
right,
and you filled the need.
Right.
And you based it on something that you had experience with.
Right.
And something that you could relate to and that resonated with you. And you wanted to be, as I consider, a content creator or an information expert.
Absolutely.
Because I believe people in the world, we're always looking for information. That's why Google is the #1 search engine in the world. Come on now. Because people are looking for advice. They're looking for guidance. They're looking for information. And they're going to find it from somewhere. So if you believe you have value to add, then why not share it?
And let me just add, so there are other blogs out there and stuff, but sometimes I just didn't find out I can relate to them. So part of my whole thing was I need to be relatable. And Candidly Kim, hence the name, is my approach in being transparent, being candid with my audience about telling them, hey, this is what happened with me. And oftentimes it's not the most pleasant experience. It's somewhat embarrassing to know that, hey, I was doing this with my daughter, I was wrong, and here's what I learned from it. But I wanted to be real because I think that parents, and my audience, they can relate more to realness. So there were blogs out there, but again, I just couldn't relate to it. So it was important for me to be that real person that people
authentic, just genuinely authentic and walking in your truth. So can you give us an example of something that you shared on the blog that may have been embarrassing, or you were like, or where you were like, oh, I don't know if I should post this, and then you finally hit send?
So my daughter, I love her. She has taught me so many lessons. So I grew up doing ballet. So I did ballet for the majority part of my my younghood. And I really was like, oh, if I ever have a girl, I would like for her to do ballet. So this bouncing baby came out, and as she grew up, I noticed she was definitely not into ballet. She was more into hip hop. And for me, it was like, I think what was embarrassing was I was trying to push my agenda in her life at a very early age. And I think one of the blogs, I can't remember exactly what it's titled. Please visit my blog and you can read it. I think it's something about children. I can't remember the exact title. But in that blog, I remember her being at the ballet, it was a ballet recital or something, and just her looking at me like, almost with the eyes of, you're really forcing me to do this. So as a parent, no parent wants to hear that you're forcing your agenda on your child. So I had to take a step back and was like, hey, it's okay that she doesn't want to do ballet. Just embrace hip hop. I'm not cool. I don't know how to do hip hop and be cool, but I can learn because she's much cooler than me. So, I can learn and I can, be a part of that movement. That's what she's interested in. And so for me, I consider that embarrassing because it's admitting that you were wrong and you're trying to push your agenda on your child, and that's not, that's not okay. That was a moment.
I love that. I love that you, again, were authentic enough and transparent enough to share that, because I promise you there are other parents who have done the same. I mean, and it's just real.
Yeah.
The fact is that sometimes we have our own idea or vision of what we want our kids to do and who we want them to become, when actuality they need to figure it out on their own partially. We can kind of guide them and help them, but most importantly support them in what they choose. So even for my daughter, love her, my princess, my only daughter, my other two kids are boys, and my daughter loves basketball with a passion. And I'm always like, for a long time I was like, whoa, you don't want to do something else? And I just kept, so I was just like you. So I'm sure that you are speaking directly to the hearts of a lot of parents who are doing something similar, but just are not bold enough to say it out loud. So I value that so much because it gives people a place to just come in and just be in that authentic parent mode of, okay, that's me. And then you can kind of call yourself out on it.
Right.
So I've done that. I'm sure many parents have done that.
Yeah.
My daughter still is every year. She's like, Mommy, I'm going to play basketball this year. Really?
That's so funny.
Really?
My daughter wants to play basketball too. Yeah. And I'm all for it. I was like, you don't know how to play basketball, but I guess we can learn.
I wanted her to be in ballet or something like that, or learn the piano. And she just loves basketball. Even when we have downtime, which is not often, but we have downtime at home, she's like, can we go to the basketball court? She loves it. And I finally just surrendered. Okay, she gotta figure out who she is.
Yeah.
And I want her to enjoy life and really live life to its fullest.
Yeah.
So let me stop, as in your words, pushing my agenda on her.
Yeah.
And let her just be. So I
really
think
wanted her
powerful.
purpose to be developed, and I think, like you mentioned, as parents, we want to we learn from our mistakes as from growing up, and we're like, okay, here's what my daughter's going to do. Here's how I'm going to guide her, forgetting that she has a completely different purpose from you.
Yeah.
So you got to narrow in on what is her purpose.
Yeah.
And it wasn't ballet, it wasn't prissy and all put together with tutu. No, little homie likes jogger pants.
That's my daughter.
Like she's not into the pink, and I'm like, I love pink.
That is my daughter. So we allow them to just kind of blossom in their own space and know that it's going to be okay. It's all going to work out. Yeah. It's all going to be okay, and you want them to develop into who they are divinely meant to be, not who we are trying to mold them and shape them to be. So I love that you have that perspective on parenthood. Now, you talk a lot about single parent and how to single parent effectively. Talk about that journey that you've gone through, and what are some of the tips that you provide, maybe in your blogs or when you're talking to other single parents, about how they can effectively single parent, as you say.
So my daughter is 12, so I was a single parent for about 9 years. So a long time. And so some of the things that I learned about just, trying to climb the ladder and, have my career as well as make sure I spend time with her. I just learned a lot, and I think I failed a lot at the same time. So the recent blog I wrote was around the holidays, and it was just how to, handle the holidays as a divorced parent, because a lot of people, I think just the emotions involved and all the other things, they forget that you're still a parent. You still have to set the examples. So one of the things I try to encourage parents to do is to always center everything you do around that child as it relates to single parenting. So in this particular blog, talking about dealing with that other parent and talking about how to have, effective communication with that other parent, letting aside the emotions, they did me wrong. I can't tell you how many times I had to bite my tongue just so that my daughter sees me in a light.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I had to be transparent. So I couldn't be, oh, I'm great, because she's like, you're fake, because she's not.
They can read through that.
They are the most honest individuals ever. And, so I was real with her. So when I was upset, I would say to her, here's why I'm upset. And I did it in a way that never put her father in a bad light, because it really was emotions, disagreement, or miscommunication most times. So I encourage my readers that are single parents to consider that. Consider when you're, communicating with that second parent, take the emotions out of it. I know it's hard. I mean, just depending on what the situation is as to why you guys aren't together. It can be very, very dark. I mean, I get that. But at the same time, wow, what lesson can you teach your child by showing them that you push through a very uncomfortable situation to make sure that they have the right examples? I can't tell you how much that spoke more volumes than me talking to her about something.
Yeah.
Like, she knows how to have a fierce conversation, not because I just talked it to her, but she's seen me in action. And I've actually pulled her into situations where I'm like, okay, you and your friend are talking, I'm calling her mom, you guys are going to have a fierce conversation, because a lot of times things can be resolved with a conversation.
Yeah, very
hey,
true.
let's sit down, let's talk. So, I mean, and hopefully the readers are getting something out of it.
Yeah.
I encourage my readers to, send me an email, if you have specific questions, because when you blog, you have to make it it has to be a blanket that can fit all. So you can't really go into too many specifics of, here's exactly what you do. So nuances are there, and you want to make sure you address everyone, but for the most part the blogs are very blanket. So if there's a specific question you have, shoot me an email, say, hey, here's what's really going on, and I'll provide you my thoughts based on my experience. I'm by no means a doctor or a person who can tell you what to do, but I love sharing my experiences. So
yeah, I love that somebody's put this in Facebook, said they're kind of recapping some of the things that we said. Allow them to blossom in their own space for who they're meant to be. Yes, absolutely. And then she quoted you when you said, I learned a lot and I failed a lot. And that's so true. And we're glad that you're appreciating that and enjoying that, because that is so true. And some of our best and greatest lessons are learned through failures.
Oh, yeah.
And I was raised in a single parent household. So I know what that experience is like. And then I watched my sister raise 2 boys as a single parent. So even though I haven't experienced that firsthand in terms of my own household.
Right.
I've watched my sister and what that struggle was like, and then of course I was experienced it as my mom did it and did a great job of raising 3 kids on her own. So it's challenging, and you're going to make some mistakes. Nobody's perfect, but you learn. And, in hindsight, when I look back at the decisions that my mom made, and at the time, I just thought my mother was so overprotective.
Yeah.
But she literally protected me from so many things that I could have gotten involved in.
Yeah.
Because we didn't grow up we grew up in a rough neighborhood in the inner city of Baltimore, Maryland. And if she hadn't had that strong look, my foot is down, then it could have led to us getting involved in some of the vices that people that we knew got involved in. So thank you, Mom. Thank you, my mom, for all of the work that you did raising 3 kids as a single parent. I'm going to say thank you to you for all that you do in raising your child and your daughter, my sister, and all the other single parents out there who are doing it all on your own. It is hard when you are a couple.
I know. It's hard regardless.
So, it's hard when you together.
Yeah.
So when you alone, when you're doing it on your own, it's extra hard.
It is.
So I just give kudos to all of the women, and I want to say women and men.
Yeah.
Because there are some single parents who are the dad.
Yep.
And so kudos to you, because parenting is all about sacrificing.
Yeah.
You really do sacrifice your wants for the best interest of
your child.
Just like you said, when you were biting your tongue, girl, blood was probably about to come out, because you have emotions and there's certain things you want to express, but that's not the model that you want to set for your child who's looking at you. And our kids are going to do what we do. I don't care how much they're not going to do what you say. They're going to do what you do. So you've got to walk the talk.
Yeah.
And so I love that you are doing that, and you are modeling for her what certain behaviors are acceptable and what behaviors aren't, and emphasizing the importance of communication. That's powerful. I know you guys are getting takeaways just like I am. Welcome, Willie Montgomery. Thank you for being here with us. Welcome to Rakita Wright. Thank you for being here with us, and everybody else who's hanging out with us. Please share this out with your tribe, your audience. Just hit the share button so that people can continue to follow this amazing conversation that we're having with Candidly Kim, who is a parent and lifestyle blogger based out of Washington, D.C. So let me ask you this question. So it's so interesting because both of us in our own way are sharing our story and our truth. So I happen to do it verbally from stages, and you're doing it through blogging. It's the same thing. It's still an expression of what you've learned, what your truth is, what your story is, and to help others. But when I'm in front of an audience, I get feedback. When you're blogging, it's like there ain't no feedback right now. You're just, people can engage.
Yeah.
But it's not like an instant. Sometimes you're waiting to see what the response was. So how do you keep your energy alive for posting and blogging, even if A, you don't get the engagement that you want, or B, it's negative engagement?
Yeah. So both has happened. With blogging, you definitely can't do it for reasons for money. It's not a money driven, and you can make money off of your blog, but for me, that's not what it is. And you can be moved by your likes, your shares, and stuff like that. So some of my blogs have done really well. As a contributor for Huffington Post, they shared on their platform, and it goes bananas, right? And I have received some negative comments on some of my blogs, but it's okay. I think for me, the way I stay, motivated is I have a really deep, passion to help others.
Yeah.
I don't want to see another parent or whatever I'm blogging about, person, a relationship, because I have relationship advice on there as well. I don't want to see other people suffer. It's like, I feel like our elders went before us to teach us lessons. And if we were smart, we would learn from them and not mistake. But hey, I'm a contributor in that. I have so many mistakes, and I'm telling you, it's not because I didn't have the example, but I was just so set on doing what I want to do. So that's my focus is, I want to help parents. I want to help, women, men, whoever is attracted to my truths on my blog, to come and feel like, number one, you're not alone, and she gets me, and, let her business be out there. I'd rather have her business and learn about it, and then I can grow. You know what I'm saying? But it's really the passion. So every blog that I've written, every quote on my Instagram that you see, or anything, any sort of communication, is always based on something I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
It is. So, when I wrote the blog about dealing with, being a divorced mom and how to handle the holidays, it was right on the holidays.
Yep.
12 years later, so everything is driven by my experiences, and it's real time. So there's not a blog in draft from a year ago that I would push for. Like, it's what I'm feeling. You know, I'm very much, I'm honest, you know, in terms of my delivery with what I'm talking about. It's never like you know, something that was passed or, you know, from a encyclopedia or something. It's very real, very real time.
And I think that makes a deeper connection with people who are reading it.
Yeah.
And what I've learned, and I love that you said that, is don't base anything on likes and comments. Because a lot of times people read and don't like, and they don't click like, they don't comment, but it has hit them. I mean, I've had people who've come back a year after they read something, and I didn't even know they were following me. I had no idea. And they're like, you put this post up a year ago about blah, 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 and I just wanted to let you know how much it touched me, and it changed my life, and now today I'm doing this. And I'm sitting at my computer like, babe, I'm calling my husband like, see? And I'm crying. I'm like, this is why I do what I do.
Exactly.
Because you know that somehow you are truly leaving your unique fingerprint on the world, and you're creating legacy, and you're impacting other people's lives. And that is what it's about. What we go through, it's about us. It's just like our story, because you're just sharing your truth through blogging, that your story is about you, but it ain't for you. So it's about you because you go through it. You go through the failures. You go through the falling down flat on your face and having to bounce back. You go through the challenges, the roadblocks, the setbacks. But it's not for you because if you're smart, if you're wise, if you're really about leaving legacy, what you're going to do is pick yourself up from that and then figure out, now, what did I learn? And who can I help? So that they don't have to go through the drama and the trauma that I went through. How can I help someone else? And that is the greatest power. That's the greatest power that's wrapped around knowledge. Is that you learn something, you experience something, you figured out a way to get through this thing or to bounce back from it, and then you share it with other people. Otherwise, it's like Les Brown says, it's like one of the richest places in the earth is the grave, because people take all their knowledge and expertise to the grave and don't share it with nobody. So I commend you again that you are being the guinea pig, if you will. Who's willing to share your raw, authentic truth.
And, you know, I've grown with this. You know, I think, you know, having my daughter, I was in my 20s, you know, most 20-year-olds don't deal with things the way I chose to deal with things. So I think just being able to hold my tongue taught me that don't be so quick to speak. I mean, there's a lot of lessons that I learned that I was able to, you know, grow and mature. And now I feel like, wow, I'm glad I went through it. And it's funny because I have a friend of mine, my dear friend, who I consult, like if I'm going through something, and she will always end by saying, well, guess you got something to blog about. I'm like, and in that moment, of course, I'm like, I don't want to think about that. But she's like, well, Kim, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
You're not going, I think you just said that, you're not going through it for you. It's really for someone else. And I'm just like, well, why I always got to be the guinea pig?
But it's the same with speaking. I'm telling you, I think we are such kindred spirits. Because it's the same with speaking. It's like every time I go through something, it's like, oh, well, there's another great story. I'm going to get to share on stage.
That's the silver lining.
Exactly. That is always the silver lining. I hope you have been enjoying this conversation that we've been having. I want to welcome Sally Cherry. Thanks for being here. Sheena Moten, thanks for being here. Sylvia Browder, thanks for being here. Domily, thank you for being here. Guys, please share this out so that others can watch it. And if you'd like to watch us online, you can simply go to voxwave.com. That's VOXWAV.com. So we're going to wrap up our conversation in this next 5 minutes with Miss Candidly Kim. How can people connect with you on social media? And then I want to just get some takeaways of how individuals who might be interested in blogging, how they might get started.
Okay. So my Instagram and Twitter is candidly_Kim. Please follow me. I have lots of food pics on that you're so interested in. I know you are. And my blog itself is candidlykim.com. So please visit, give feedback. And in terms of how someone can get started with blogging, I think more importantly, you have to define why you're trying to blog. Because if, like I said, if you're doing it for money, I mean, it can make you money, but it's not really a money-driven type of, passion. It really has to be something that you're interested in doing, and you have to have a purpose behind it. So are you blogging to do what? I'm blogging to help parents. Somebody else might be blogging to teach people, I don't know, how to be a designer or something. And from there, you don't have to have the best writing skills in the world. As a matter of fact, I have someone who looks at my writing before I publish it because I know I make mistakes. So, start off. And it's not a book. It's just you writing your thoughts. So if you are a big social media person, take all of your posts, and if it's about the same topic, combine it and just read it and see where you can fill in the gaps. Because that's how books are written. Well, my mentor told me that. He was like, take all your blogs and just formulate that into a book. And I would like to think that's how blogs are written. Your thoughts are just in one, single piece. And just put the pen to the paper, put the fingers to the keys, whatever, and just start typing. Just start writing. And then after that, then you go through and you make changes. But I think it has to come from a place where your purpose is clearly defined. So whatever that may be, it needs to be clearly defined. And, don't expect rapid results. Like, mentioning the likes and the comments and all that. Before I was a contributor for the Post and all the other venues that I'm now exposed to now, I really didn't have a lot of traffic on my website. But the 1 or 2 traffic I'll get per day was enough for me to keep going because I would get those DMs or, those messages like, I'm going through this really encouraged me. And, and for whatever reason, people don't always like and share, but just to get that message, like, it helped me. It helped me. It motivated me to keep going because somebody's listening. Yeah. But don't be moved by that. If you, write a piece and nobody liked it, don't judge whether or not somebody likes your pieces based on likes or comments. People can still receive and not even like. I sometimes view stuff and I realize I don't always click like. I just love the picture, but I'm like, oh, this is nice. And I keep scrolling. So it could be the same effect with you. But clearly define your purpose, put pen to paper, and get going. Just start.
There you go. I think those are 3 powerful ways if you're interested in blogging for those who are tuned in. Good morning, Olympia. Thanks for being here. Hi, Skip Powell. Thanks for being here. Hey, Shannon Robinson. Welcome. So if you are interested in blogging, I love that first of all, just get some clarity around why you're doing it and what is the passion behind whatever it is that you're going to talk about. Very similar to the speaking industry. It's like you got to have clarity about who you're talking to and what you're talking to them about. Without that clarity, you're all over the place. And there's no real consistent theme that you're going to be talking about. Right. It's very clear. Candidly Kim is a parent and lifestyle blogger, and she talks about parenting and relationships and things of that nature, and she does it from an authentic space. But you can feel the passion, and you can hear the passion when she talks about it. So it's not something that she has to sit and mull over and like, oh, I got to write this blog because it interests her.
Yeah, it becomes work.
Then it becomes work. That's it. And you don't want it to feel like a job. You don't want it to feel like work. Right. It should be something that you truly enjoy because, like you said, you have to be consistent with it before you ever expect it to experience any type of result, or traction. You have to be consistent. That's with anything. Like you're never going to start the day and then tomorrow you're like, well, I only got 2 people following. Okay, how about you be grateful for those 2 people who took the time from their busy schedule to come over and read what you wrote? I mean, sometimes we diminish the value of the few, and we have to stop doing that because even with the few, what it means is you are impacting the world. You are somehow leaving legacy. You are somehow inspiring someone else or encouraging them or, as you said, mentioned earlier, letting them know they're not alone. And that matters. That counts for something. It doesn't have to be thousands at a time. It could be 1 or 2 at a time.
Be grateful.
Don't despise small beginnings, as they say. And be grateful for anybody who takes time out of there. We only get 24 hours in a day. Right. And we're already fighting for, okay, what am I going to do with my 24? I got to get up. I got to go to work. I got to pick the kids up. I got to drop the kids off. Got to take the kids to sports. I got to cook dinner. Oh, yeah, I got to go to the grocery store so I can have something to cook for dinner. Oh, Lord, I need my oil change. I got to get my tire. Right? So it's like all this stuff that is fighting for our time. So if someone takes time to come and read your post, your blog, come to your event, come hear you speak, I don't care if it's 2 people. Right. You need to value those 2 people who are in the room and give them your best. Always give them your best. So this has been an amazing conversation. I do really love your passion for what you do. And this is our first time meeting in person. We connected through social media, which again is the power of social media. Yes. And I love that you share your raw, authentic truth about parenting because there are not a lot of people who just speak from a genuine space and just like, look, this is what it is. I messed up or I failed or this is what I think. Because when you start publishing what you think, you're opening yourself up
to criticism.
And so that takes a very bold, courageous woman. So kudos to you. It's been an honor to have you with us. Give us one more time how people can connect with you across social media and or how can they follow the blog? Because I'm going to start reading the blog myself.
Yay! So Instagram, Twitter, candidly_Kim, and my website is candidlykim.com.
You heard it. So make sure you follow her blog. All right, we're going to take a very, very brief break, and we're going to be back with another amazing powerhouse. Her name is Vita McCoy. So hang tight, and we'll be right back.
Hello? Hey, girl.
Awesome.
What's wrong? Girl, I just went to a major dealership and got ripped off on a luxury car. Ugh.
Well, I just got a great deal on a luxury car at Starr Imports in Camp Springs, Maryland. They took their time with me, treated me with respect, and helped me find the perfect car.
Hey, DMV, looking for a unique car buying experience? Tired of high-pressure sales? Good news. At Starr Imports, you'll be delighted with our boutique-style car buying experience. We're committed to treating you with the utmost respect, even if you have less than perfect credit. Check out our impressive selection of pre-owned BMWs, Mercedes-Benz, Lexus, Jaguars, and other imports starting at $5,988. For fast online guaranteed credit approvals, go to StarRimports.com. That's StarRimports.com. Or call 301-423-8000. Starr Imports, home of the boutique-style car buying experience. Located in Camp Springs, Maryland, off exit 7B off the Beltway, next to Red Lobster.
We have powerful words, we have powerful minds. We use our voices and freedom takes flight. And we're ready to work, we're ready to win. We have a strategy and now we can begin. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Now you are a champion. God is my witness. Imperfect perfection. Living my mission and winning. See, we are influencers. We have fear but don't stop. I have the confidence to rise to the top. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. All I need is inside of me. I am enough and now I see. Yeah.
All right, and we are back. Wasn't that such a great conversation with Candidly Kim? I love social media and the power of social media to connect you with people that otherwise you may never connect with. And so that was fantastic to meet her. She was like, yeah, we just flowed with that. Yeah, I'm like, because I love your energy and I love your spirit. Really great energy. So before I introduce my next amazing guest, who I'm just so honored is in the studio with me, I do want to give a huge shout out to all of my partners who make this show possible. I have to shout out Cheryl M. Good, who is the founder of Total Harmony Enterprises, for being one of our platinum partners. She is gearing up for her 8th annual Recharge Health, Wellness, and Fitness Expo, and I'm telling you, it is all of that in a bag of chips. I've been every year, well, because if I don't go, she gets on me. That's my sister. So, but this year, it's Saturday, April the 14th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you're interested in going, all you gotta do is register at rechargenow2018.eventbrite.com. Rechargenow2018.eventbrite.com. Here's the beautiful thing. It's free. She does this every year for the community as a way to get the community moving and interested in how do I take care of myself? How do I improve my health and wellness? How do I get my family moving? So you can bring your entire family. It's free. And then when you come, not only do you get exercise routines, right? So they do exercise right there in the middle of the ballroom. She has this huge ballroom, and people get up on the stage, and they have people who do Hawaiian dances, and you do that, and people who do kickboxing. And I mean, it's such a variety. It is an amazing event to experience. You don't want to miss it. It's at the Doubletree by Hilton in Pikesville, Maryland. Go to rechargenow2018.eventbrite.com, Saturday, April 14th from 10 to 3, and I will be there. Yours truly will be there. And then another one of our platinum partners, Ladrine Peterson, who is a career strategist, helping turn dreamers into doers. And she actually, I want to give her a shout out because she just finished her first of multiple vision board parties for youth. Wow. So she is doing these amazing parties where she's getting young people between the ages of 10 to 14 together in a room to think about their vision and to create their own vision boards. And at each event, she's spotlighting a specific young person who's impacting the world. So for the one that she just had this past weekend, there's a little girl who's a DJ. The little girl, like 10. She DJ'd the event, right? I believe it's next Saturday. Yeah, the 10th, next Saturday. She's hosting another one. And my daughter, Jayana, who's 14 years old, she's an author 2 times over. She's going to be the spotlighted entrepreneur of that gig. And then I think 2 weeks later, she has a young boy who's somewhere between the 10 to 14 range, and he's a professional photographer. Come on now, right? Wow. So I love that she is spotlighting and featuring, because sometimes in the world, everything's negative, and people spotlight the things that are negative, but we don't spotlight positive enough. So I love that Ladrine is doing that, and I love that she, 6-year-old DJ, the little girl is 6. Come on now. She was tearing that thing up. I was looking at the video. I said, she was doing the little scratching thing. I said, what? I was so impressed. So kudos to you, Ladrine, for doing that and creating those spaces for our young people. And thank you for being one of our platinum partners. All right. So who's next to me? Well, as I mentioned before we went to commercial, her name is Vida McCoy. She is a preacher, teacher, author, singer. I didn't know you were a singer. I had to hear you bust a note while you in here. And public school administrator. She's the founder of Unlock Your Life, where she motivates and inspires thousands to unlock their greatness. She holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in English from Bowie State University, a Master of Theological Studies degree from Wesley Theological Seminary, and a Master of Education degree also from Bowie State University. She's currently employed as an elementary school principal. I get it. You kind of have the principal look. And in 2004, she and her husband, Senior Pastor Marvin E. McCoy, founded Judah Christian Center Church. She's also, as I mentioned, a recording artist and has released 3 solo projects. You are so multi-talented. I want to be like you. They've been married for 30 years, and she's the mother of 2 adult children. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
First of all, I have to say, I connected with you, I believe, initially through Nicole Mason, who was one of my prayer warriors. I mean, that sister, and she'll be here in our second half of the show. But when I met you, I just loved your energy and I loved your spirit. And I think we were together at a retreat that I had. And I just first of all, I valued that you were willing to come and support another sister and to be in that space with us and that was a very authentic and very raw space where people were really shedding some of their layers. And so it just meant a lot to me that you were in that space with us, because I know you're a busy woman on a mission impacting the world. So thank you for being there.
Well, thank you for having me.
So I really want to focus on this whole idea of unlock your life. So I'm going to kind of turn it over to you, and you can tell me, what is this organization all about? Why did you start it? And what's the ultimate vision and mission?
Well, thank you, Cheryl. You are awesome. It's my pleasure to be here today. So Unlock Your Life is kind of, you mentioned that, I'm multi-talented and I have a lot of things going on. And believe it or not, at one time I had even more things going on, and I just kind of had to narrow it down. And as I was in prayer, asking the Lord what my legacy would be and, what imprint would I leave on the earth, and trying to put all of me into a box and just trying to figure it all out, it just came. He said, I designed you that way. I designed you to be multifaceted, and I designed you to have more than one area of expertise, because, everyone was like, find your niche, push that, people don't know how to really, follow you unless you do that. And so what came to me was the keys that are in me. There are so many keys that I have had to tap into, because my purpose is to help people tap into the keys that are already inside of them. So I have like a 3-prong, mantra, and that is that they will fulfill purpose, pursue their dreams, pursue passion, and realize dreams. So I'm all about your purpose, your passion, and your dreams. And also realizing that everything needed to produce or create anything is already in the seed. It's already in the seed. You come here with everything. God sends you from eternity. He sends you from himself to be an expression of divinity on the earth, so that you can express, godness in the earth. And everything you need to do that is already inside of you. You just need the keys. And here comes life. To do what? Give you the keys, the hard knocks, the things that we feel are actually setbacks, failures, disappointments. They're really lessons. I say life is a classroom. Life is a lesson. You come here to learn. You come here to learn from other people, and you come here to learn from yourself. What do you need to know about you? What is it that you can learn about whatever it is you're experiencing? That way, nothing is lost, and you never, ever lose if you look at everything as a lesson, and that it's unlocking more of who you already are, who you came here as, and who you came to the earth to show the world that God could be.
I love
so that's kind of what Unlock Your Life is all about. And those lessons are so important because I feel that as I say that to people, they get kind of really stumped when I say everything needed to create anything is already in the seed.
Yeah.
When you look at an apple seed, you're looking at an apple.
Right.
When you look at an orange seed, you're looking at an orange. Yeah. But they have to go through that process. And the reason your process is unlike anybody else's process is because you're not an orange. You're not an apple. You are you.
Yeah.
So
powerful, right? I know you guys got goosebumps just like me. Ladrine says, yes, purpose, passion, and dreams. Audria Whitley, hi there, says yes. She says purpose, passion, and dreams. And Ladrine, I know you are loving this, Miss Turning Dreamers into Doers, right?
Yes,
but I love
that.
everything that you talked about. I love that you stated everything is already in the seed. And we have to view ourselves as that seed that has been divinely planted. But you cannot grow without going through seasons and going through processes and going through your own journey. Everybody has to go through their journey.
Absolutely.
So why do you feel that a lot of people are stuck once life starts kind of hitting them? And the reality of the idea that life is going to gut punch you and knock you down sometimes. Why do you think it's so hard for people to get back up from that? Because sometimes people fall down, right? You're going to fall down, but why do people stay down?
Because they're looking for affirmation and validation outside of themselves. I often say that you learned your name because somebody kept calling you Cheryl. And so we learn to identify ourselves and who we are by what other people call us. You didn't come here knowing that Cheryl was your name. Your mama, your daddy, everybody else kept calling you Cheryl until you eventually began to respond to Cheryl. But you're more than a name. You know? And so we are used to responding to who we are based on what other people say about us. But what that experience and that place in life that you're talking about is the lesson where you learn that I have only got to respond to myself. I must affirm myself. I please an audience of one, and I find and get my direction from that person, from that existence, from God. And the other side of that is a lot of times we prefer to remain stuck. As uncomfortable as it is, as frustrating as it can be, bigger is scarier.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, bigger is scary because you have to let go of so much of what you learned. And listen, that was you 10 years ago. That was you 20 years ago. But that's not who you are today. And it's not that you have to dismiss all of that or disregard those people who were in your life in that time. You're just in a season of learning something else and producing something else in the earth. And it came to me, God just said to me, you have to teach people that when you're preparing for big, you'll be surprised where small has been hiding out. And so a lot of that falling down and not being able to get up, that's the smallness. That's the comfort zone. That's the pleasing other people. That's the affirmation and validation from outside of yourself. But when you learn to tap into the keys that are already inside of you, and as we were talking, during the break, that's the reason why I wrote the book, My Unlocked Life, because the 60 keys that are in here are all very practical, and there's a prayer at the end of each one and a guide, and you can kind of do your own work because that's the only way you're going to move through those places.
Yeah, powerful. Everything that you're saying just giving me goosebumps. It's just, and I know for many people, everybody's saying, Vita and I go way back. Roberta Spate is here.
Oh, we ran track together in high school.
Deborah Hurd says, yes, bigger is scarier. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
More. Thanks for being here. Ladrine is just with the yes. Yes and yes. Susan Key says, I'm watching from my doctor's office. Good stuff. You're more than a name. Love it. I am who God says I am.
Amen.
Audra Whitley says, I must affirm myself. Thank you guys so much. Audra Whitley says, I'm preparing for bigger. That's right. You got to prepare for bigger. Welcome, Veronica Patterson. Wow, that's good. That just hit me hard. More than just a name. I love that you talk about the self-validation because you're right. So many of us are stuck in a space where we're waiting for somebody to either nod their head and tell us, yeah, I give you the approval to be, or to go out and seek this thing, or to play bigger, or we're waiting on somebody to tell us our idea is good enough to execute it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you should do it. Look, you have got to self-validate. One of the things I've learned in my journey is that people are fickle, but God is constant.
Yes.
People are fickle, but God is constant.
Yes.
And So when you talk about that audience of one, you and God, like, you got to know. And I consider myself, my journey is kind of the underdog, right? Who came up and was like, okay, look, you didn't expect me to be here. You didn't open the door for me to get here. God is the one who took me through the VIP entrance every single time. And then when I was in VIP, you try to figure out, how did I get there? You didn't open the door. God opened every door. And when he opens it, can't nobody shut it down. Nobody can do anything about that. So stop placing all of your energy into what people say and what they think and what their opinion or feeling is, and stick with God, because he is a constant. She getting us up in church up in here.
I can't help it.
Right?
And it's so funny. Like, sometimes even in my staff meetings, I'll slip up and say, can I get an amen? And they just laugh. I say, I'm sorry, y'all. I forgot where I was. But anyway, so I want to say something, and it brought tears to my eyes, because I can talk to people about self-affirmation and validation because I struggled with rejection for so long. And when I say struggle with rejection, I mean I believe that God had ordained seasons of rejection in my life so that I could grow through them, learn through them, and then be a vessel for other people. I'm talking from a child, like, you know, the color of my skin, the pigmentation of being the darkest child. You know, I have always been able to sing and, you know, outgoing and, you know, not always aware of how that impacts other people. So sometimes it was, you know, they would be kind of put off by me, and I don't mean anything. I'm just showing up as Vita. And so it caused people to reject me, and I couldn't figure out why. You know, Roberta is like one of my few friends from high school, you know, that I still have. And so I dealt with rejection in such a way, and I sought the approval of others so intensely that I finally had to get to the point where, that's why if you follow me on social media, I'm living in a season of bold moves and unapologetic living. Because until you get bold enough to move as you are directed to move and led to move, you will always be in that place of being affirmed by other people. And I'm just letting life teach me. When I run into conflict, when I run into relationships changing or things I don't understand about myself, I'm too heavy this month and I'm too, you know, stressed out the next month. I'm just letting life teach me, but I am not letting life define me. It's about letting life teach me, but life will not define me. My experiences will not change how I see myself and really how I see others. I may have to change where we are, but that's not going to make me love you any less or treat you any differently, because we're all here to learn.
Absolutely.
We're all here to learn.
Absolutely. And I love that. I love being the willingness to go through the lessons. And when you talk about that rejection, that thing right there is very, very serious. And I, you know, growing up as a young child, I grew up in a single parent household. My father was, you know, there every once in a blue moon. And there was a certain level of rejection that I felt with him not being present. It was like, why didn't you want to be a part of our lives? Why didn't you want to be there? So I learned that very young, that whole idea of rejection. And when I came into business, again, I didn't have a big title, Vita. I wasn't some senior executive at some big company, so people were opening doors for me. I didn't have a big name that was backing me saying you should let Cheryl in the door. It was just a girl who had purpose, passion, dreams, and a vision of creating a different life for myself. And I did struggle. I'm so glad you brought that topic up of rejection, because I struggled with that, because I felt very rejected by a lot of people in the industry who, from their perspective, I didn't belong. You didn't belong. But it wasn't about what they thought. And my philosophy was, look, I'm just going to keep showing up. I'm going to keep showing up until you figure it out. Because I already know what God has told me and where I'm going and where he's going to take me and how I'm going to touch lives and leave a legacy. So if you don't understand it, that's your problem. But I'm going to keep showing up until he says the work is done. So I think all of us have to get over that idea of getting people's approval and getting their applause and their okay and having bobbleheads shaking their head like, yeah, you should do it, and understanding that it is not about anybody else, but what is your divine assignment and how do you move beyond that idea of, if people reject me, oh, I'm not good enough.
Because everything you need to be successful is already in you.
Already in the seed.
It's already in the seed.
I love that.
And hear this, you didn't plant your own seed.
That's
God,
right.
He had a purpose. In Jeremiah 1:5 is kind of like the foundational scripture for Unlock Your Life. It says, before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew you. Before you were born. So two things happened to you after you were created. You were formed and you were born. and you were sent. He also says he sent you to be a prophet, which just means his spokesperson.
Yeah.
And you're speaking his expression of himself through you.
Yes.
But you were formed. That's only your formation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you didn't stay in that same form.
Right.
You changed form 1,000 times in your mother's womb from day 1 to month 9.
Yes.
So please don't get stuck in a form. And born, why did the Christ, why did he choose his evolution of people to be a rebirth? You're supposed to rebirth and be reborn over and over again. And so we came here with everything that we need, and that's why I chose Jeremiah 1:5, because God knew us before the form. He knew us before being born, and he knew us before we are sent on this assignment, that assignment. I know you come from corporate.
Yep.
We both come from that legal background, public speaking, whatever. Now you're in radio. They're just assignments.
Yeah.
They're not definitions of who you are.
Absolutely.
It's just where you're being sent at that particular time. And so my mission is to help people be comfortable with wherever you are, whatever form you're in, whatever season of your whatever you are birthing in this season, or wherever you are being sent.
Yes.
I just want you to be comfortable because it was already in you.
Yeah.
The seed was already in you.
And that's just another powerful statement that you said is going where you're sent.
Okay.
Like some of us are rejecting where God is sending us. We're like, oh God, no God, I ain't ready. I ain't qualified for that. You got to stop coming up with the list of check. Oh, well, I got to check all these things off. No, God already pre-qualified you. He put the stamp of pre-approval on you, and that's why he sent you. That's because so awesome. He could see something in you that maybe you couldn't see yet, but you needed that experience so that you could see it in you.
Absolutely.
So all of us have to, one of the things I tell every client, say yes more than you say no. When I say yes more than, I mean say yes to the opportunities that he places before you. Because even when you're afraid and there's that fear of, inadequacy or fear of rejection or judgment or whatever it is that's scaring you about that, there is something that you're going to learn about you and what you're able to do and capable of through his strength. And so you owe it to yourself to say yes to the opportunity no matter how much it scares you.
Wow.
You've got to learn to run in the direction of the things that scare you instead of away from the direction.
And I'm glad you said that, because that piece about saying yes is so important, and you also have to go where your yes is.
Yeah.
Because when you don't know who you are, and when you struggle with the need for affirmation, validation, and you have been through rejection, a lot of times you only pursue relationships where you're going to be rejected. It's almost like you keep showing up to those settings where you're going to be rejected instead of going to where your yes is. Like,
Powerful.
And I was, in therapy. I was, I've been through therapy. I've been through all of that, just to become a better person. It was a long time ago, y'all, with a camera. It was wild. But anyway, but one of the things I was fixated on a relationship, with this person that I wanted to mentor me and be in my life and be close with and all that. And they said, if that person were not who the person was, would you want this relationship with them? Why do you keep putting yourself, why do you continue to pursue relationships where you are rejected? Why? So again, it goes back to, what'd you come here to learn? I came to learn about myself. I look for other people to affirm me. I look for other people to validate me. And once I grew through that, it was real easy for me to realize, you don't see who I am.
Right.
And it's okay.
And it's okay. And it's okay.
I ain't going to keep sitting here trying to get you to see.
Trying to get you to figure out
who I am. Because I already know.
She ain't speaking nothing but some truth up in here. Ladrine said, wait a minute. Ladrine said, y'all, it's all part of the process. The good, the bad, the ugly, what appears to be ugly. She said, this segment is fire. So Wanda Levinson, welcome. She says, trust God's process and supernatural plans for you. Audrey says, everything I need is already in me. She's in the seed, re-quoting your Jeremiah 1:5. Mary says, say yes to the opportunities that God sent. Amy, run in the direction of your yes. Powerful. Go where your yes is. Yeah, this is fire, right? I hope you guys are sharing this out. This is none other than Vita McCoy. You need to know her. She's a preacher. She's a teacher. She's an author. She's a singer. She is multifaceted, honey, and she is tapping into all of the talents that God has given her unapologetically. I love that. Yeah. So then talk a little bit about the difference between needing validation, right, and needing people's approval in comparison to having a powerful circle of like minds, because I don't feel like any of us should be doing it alone.
Right.
So can you kind of give us the differentiation between, I need a bunch of people saying yes and you good enough, versus I should have some people who are of like minds in my corner supporting me and celebrating me.
That's great. That's the power of sisterhood, the power of networking, and you do need that. And you have to be led into those relationships as well. And they are not all the same, and they don't all serve the same purpose.
Yes.
And you have to realize that you're not creating, what's those things, a hiram or something, just a yes and amen corner.
Right.
There should be some piece of, there should be the process of iron sharpening iron.
Yes.
And then the whole side of it where any joint venture, where you all are doing things collectively. Yes. And I actually have something called the Unlock Women's Collective. And we have a conference every September with that. We go on a retreat in April to kind of sharpen each other.
Yes.
And then in September, we produce a signature event called the Access Conference.
Nice.
So I understand that, but what I have to say is that you cannot show up in those settings until you have evolved, at least, or else you will just continue. Your vibe attracts your tribe. And so you're going to continue to attract who you are.
Y'all get that? Somebody post that in there. Y'all got to type that in there. Your vibe
attracts your tribe. So if you're wondering about your life, just think about your vibe. And then also you have to step outside of yourself. Everybody in your circle should have something to offer, something that you can glean from, something you need, but there should also be somebody in that circle where you got it going on 100 times more than I do.
Right.
She may not be in every part of your life, but there should be somebody who can pour into you as well.
Yes.
And also people who got it going on, you, me, whoever, the lady that just left, people who have it going on, we don't have time for neediness. They can sense it. We don't have time for ulterior motives. They can sense it. We don't have time for, you latching on because you trying to, whatever. They can sense it and they don't have time for it.
Yeah.
And so, you have to make sure that you're ready for those connections.
Ooh, Josie. Now, look, we got to have you come back. I'm just saying, this ain't enough time. So for someone who is in the space where they are a little challenged with some of the things that we've been talking about and really moved into a space of purpose and passion and dreams, perhaps because of fears and doubts and self-limiting beliefs that maybe have been in their minds and their heads for a long time, are there some practical steps, maybe 1 or 2 practical steps that you can encourage them to take immediately so that they can start at least propelling themselves in a different direction?
So you can do an inventory. I walk people through this, like in that first consult with me, is that you can write down 3 things that you do well, 3 things that you would do in your dream life, and 3 things that you feel that you failed at. And then so 3 things you do well. It can just be I stand up very well. Whatever it may be, 3 things that you would do in your dream life. Like for me, my dream life would consist of 3.5 months, 3 months of working, intensely traveling, and another month to just sleep and be in Bali, and then the other months to kind of plan and, do all those things. So 3 months to travel, whatever, a month to plan, and the rest of the months I'm working. That's what I would do in my dream life. And then 3 things that you feel that you failed at. I heard the lady before me talking about failing. I have 2 grown children. You might not, my son is, he was born in 86. I'm at that age where I have to do that in my mind, mental math. He was born in 86, so he'll be 32 this year. My daughter was born in 1990, so she'll be, how old is that? 20.
Look,
she's 20-something. But anyway, they are grown. So you want to talk about, things you have succeeded and failed at. And then what you do is you get other people's advice in those same areas. So you write down what you think about those 9 things, and then you ask somebody else, tell what 3 things do I do well? And so that will get you on the track too, because what a lot of people do not know is we're always looking for our purpose outside of ourselves. You came here with that purpose. So a part of my, personality ties to my purpose. A part of, my heart and all the rejection and all that, it just created such a soft heart for me, a passionate heart. So a lot of that is tied to your purpose. And so then those things will put you in the direction. I guarantee there is a common theme in all of those. And start with the theme. And then, they could call me, call you.
I love that. How do they reach you?
Oh, I'm Vita McCoy everywhere. I'm Vita McCoy.
Vita McCoy everywhere.
Except for Instagram, I'm Vita UYL for Unlock Your Life on Instagram. But on Twitter, I'm Vita McCoy. And on Facebook, I'm Vita McCoy. And my website is vitamccoy.com.
Awesome. So I know there are so many takeaways. Thank you, Latrine, and everybody else who are typing the takeaways in our Facebook feed. We appreciate that. That is very valuable for people who will go back and watch this show beyond today. And, I just want to add to that, just always show up knowing that you are enough, as you are authentically. As a speaker, someone, like I said, who felt like I came from the wrong side of the tracks and I didn't have all this, that, and the other, and people's approval, it took a lot of courage and boldness to show up in certain spaces when I felt like certain people were looking through me as though I didn't belong. And there were times where I felt like, should I dim down who I am? Should I not come into the room as boldly as I am? I've even heard people say, I don't want Cheryl on my stage because she's going to take all the attention. And so I struggled for a while in the speaker industry of, should I just be me or should I be somebody else? Should I dim down a little bit, tone it down a little bit so that maybe I get invited to more stages? And God was like, no, this, as you said, this is a part of who you are, and your personality is directly connected to your purpose. And so you cannot cut that purpose off because you are cutting off who you were born to be and what is in you already as the seed. So that, when I tell y'all it's real, when you are striving for greater and striving to impact other people's lives, you're going to go through some stuff and you're going to experience some emotions, and you're going to have to be bold enough and strong enough to face it head on and realize that sometimes it's going to hurt. Sometimes you're going to be discouraged, but you got to go back, talk to God after that and be like, all right, God, look, you said this is what I was supposed to be doing. I had them conversations with God. Exactly. Like, you gave me this assignment. I didn't create it in me. You gave it to me. So I know you wouldn't give it to me and expect me to sit on it.
That's key.
And expect me to be quiet.
He created it in you.
He created it in me. So that gave me the boldness and the courage to forge ahead into the spaces even when I knew people didn't feel like they wanted me there or didn't feel like I belonged there. It wasn't their decision. But it wasn't their choice.
Because the piece about your gift making room for you and bring you before great men is that sometimes your gift will make room and there's nothing people can do about it.
That's right.
That's the big that you have to prepare for.
Yes.
But I know that there was some small that you had to deal with in your own fears and in the mindset of other people and people viewing you as small or only good enough for this or the chitlin circuit or whatever it may be. Right. And so, you know, that's such a powerful testimony and why people are drawn to you, why I was drawn to you, you know, and why, you know, I wanted to work with you and be on this program today because that's it. And I don't want you to be a clone of you. We don't want you to be clones of us. We want to empower you to be you, to unlock what is already inside of you. And, you know, even with this, by the way, if I can, just tell them, My Unlocked Life, my book, you can get it on VitaMcCoy.com.
Please, somebody type that in the feed for me, please.
It's a 60-day process, and there's a 5-step process where you get people to do it with you. It is phenomenal, if I must say so myself. And, you know, and I'm only saying it because it is my process, things that I've learned. Each day we call it a life key. And can I share one real quick?
Yeah, please. Okay. Absolutely.
So,
y'all, you're going to go. Somebody's going to type this in the feed, VitaMcCoy.com.
VitaMcCoy.com.
VitaMcCoy.com. That's
and the book is My Unlocked Life.
My Unlocked Life, you guys. So somebody type that in the feed so other people can see this after today's show, for the replay.
So this is just life key number 4. It says, childhood dreams do not play out perfectly because usually they occur in grown-up life. But they can still be grand if you learn to relish in what the experience is rather than what it is not. So, then I say, what dream of yours will become reality today? So a lot of times we become married and stuck to childhood dreams. I always thought I wanted to be a lawyer. I always thought I wanted to be this. I always thought I wanted to be a model. Why am I going to be a model? I like to eat too much and sleep, you know. So, but you can still have a dream life if you appreciate your reality for what it is instead of regretting what it is not. It's okay to have childhood dreams and remember them, but childhood dreams do not play out in adulthood life.
Yes. And stop placing your dreams on somebody else and whether or not they open the door for you.
Exactly.
Don't wait, create. And that's always been my belief. It's like, okay, you ain't trying to open the door, you're not trying to share. That's fine. God gonna take me and show me another route. And I'm willing to place all bets on me. Guys, hashtag, and I want everybody to put this, hashtag place all bets on me. Hashtag place all bets on me, meaning you don't have to open the door, you don't have to usher me in. God, it's me and God. He has me, and I'm going to forge ahead, and he's going to bless it. Because he put it in me. So he's not going to not bless it.
He's obligated to do it.
I'm obligated. So I love that idea. And I want you guys to go, and I want you to make sure that you get the book. Thank you. Christine Wilson is watching. Yetta Young is watching. Yes, thank you so much, Mary Huntley, for typing in Vita's Website, vitamccoy.com, My Unlocked Life.
Yep.
Yes, hashtag place all bets on me. It's your time to realize that you've got to stop waiting on the approval and validation and permission from other people and just validate yourself. It's between you and God. Woo! We're going to have this sister back.
Everybody else is just watching.
That's right.
Everybody else is just
right.
watching. The unfolding of the story of you. You know, everybody else is just watching.
Yes. You have been such a blessing today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely
it's been good
enjoyable.
to be here.
I would love to have you back.
I will come back anytime.
My assistant be stalking you, talking about, look here, we need you back in the studio so we can do a little bit longer segment. But this has been so eye-opening and just, again, both guests today have just resonated so, because you never know sometimes how much you have in common with someone. That whole rejection piece was like, whoo, that was deep. And you never know until you talk to them. Yeah. And you start hearing their story. You're like, well, wait a minute, that's part of my story too. And that's the power of, that's why I'm so passionate about encouraging and empowering people to share their story. Because you never know who it's going to connect you to. You never know who it's going to bless. You never know who's sitting there listening like, oh my God. So she went through that and now this is who she is. Maybe I can too. And then you don't feel alone.
And that's so powerful. And I know we have to go, but people often look at where you are and they have no idea what your journey has been.
Yes.
I've been rejected. I've been depressed. I've been extremely overweight. You know, I've had marriage problems. I've struggled in the church. I've struggled in my ministry trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. I had family issues. I just said I had 2 adult children.
Right.
So you know. You know, I've been married for going on 30. It was 1985. So what's
30 years, 30
It'd be 31, 32 years. Sorry, honey, he's probably watching. But I've been married 30 some odd years. I got married when I was like 18 and a half years old. I grew up in my marriage. And so you have to realize that that what you're seeing, you're just watching. You're just watching, but you haven't seen the whole story. You haven't seen the whole play. Yeah. You know, and so you can't ever, you know, comparison is always going to lead to discontentment because you don't know the whole story.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Oh, Lord.
It will rob
I gotta write that down.
It will rob you blind of any joy you can have in life because you looking at somebody else's chapter 20, but you on chapter 1.
Exactly.
And it's like you can't
That's
do
the perfect.
that.
You said in one sentence what I just tried to say in 2 minutes.
No, you said it.
Yeah,
no,
chapter.
You said it.
You're reading my chapter 20, and you are comparing it to your chapter 1.
Chapter 1, and you're forgetting that. What you see, right, it looks good, but we still are a work in progress.
Still a work in progress.
So it's not done. Maybe we've gone through some things, we've overcome some things, we've bounced back, we've been resilient, but we still have daily struggle. There are certain things that, I got to share this really quickly and then we'll close out. But I just put a post on Facebook yesterday that my little heart was so, sometimes my emotions, honey, I got to pick the emotions out of it. But my little heart was so hurt because I had been nominated for 2 awards and my heart wanted it. Mm-hmm. My heart desired it, that I would be recognized by these 2 organizations. And so I got the notification this week that I was not selected for either. That, I was at the top of the, but I was not selected to be recognized. Oh, wow. And I felt a certain way. And I started to go into this kind of negative, toxic space about, well, am I really having the impact that I think if they didn't even choose me? Am I really doing what I think I'm doing in the world? There it goes back to that wanting validation and wanting approval.
You're helping me right now.
And I felt some kind of way. I got to admit, I felt some kind of way. That same day, later that evening, I get an email. Oh, this is going to make me cry. I get an email from a sister who says, on behalf of the When Women Heal Committee and the Global Leadership Summit, we have selected you to honor you for the work that you do, for helping to inspire and empower women globally at our global Leadership Summit in Johannesburg, South Africa. And all I could do was bawl and cry because I said...
You were thinking locally. God was thinking globally, internationally.
That was exactly the words that came out of my mouth. Here you go, girl, thinking local, and God is thinking on a global scale.
Whoa.
So you got to step back and let him do what he's supposed to be doing. Do what he's promised you that he would do, which is to usher you into whatever your next level is based on what he has gifted in you as the seed. And that was such a powerful thing. Like I'm still in my emotions about that thing because
so
it was
powerful.
just...
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was so eye-opening. And so we always have those eye-opening moments. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we forget and we might fall back into some things a little bit and then God got to remind us again. Let me tell you who in charge. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you who leading your journey here. This ain't you. You ain't doing this. I'm doing this. Let me show you where I want you. And it was literally not the local, but the global. And so we are, both of us, and all of us, everybody who you see come to this table and this platform, we're still a work in progress. We're not perfect. We don't want to come across as perfect. We still, I got 3 kids. Lord, every day I pray, God, I got a 14-year-old. I got a teenager now. I'm like, please just let us stay friends. Like, let us stay in a place where because she's a good girl. And I'm like, I know, the hormones is going off and all kind of things. Like, please help us keep our communication open. So it's like that. I deal with that. I've been married.
At least you know how to pray. That's good. A lot of people don't even know that something happens to our children, especially our girls.
Yes.
It's 12, 13, and being an educator and a parent and a pastor and, a mentor, I know they lose their minds.
They lose their minds.
From like 13 to 17.
Right. I'm like, Lord, every day I'm
but
praying.
at least you know how to pray.
Yes.
And God will show up for you in that way.
Amen. I'm like, help me get through these 4 years. And then I got 2 boys coming right behind me.
Okay.
Because my boys are 10 and 11. So, again, you've just been such a blessing.
Thank you.
To me, and to everybody who's watching. I know y'all too. Y'all got some too, but I'm just saying, to me, you've been a blessing. Thank you for saying yes and being here. Again, go to VitaMcCoy.com to get a copy of her new book, My Unlocked Life, and connect with her all across social media at Vita McCoy. If you can't remember that, just Google her, because I'm sure she is Google-licious. You need to make sure that you connect. Google-licious. She's Google-licious. You will find her name. So we're going to take just a quick break, 1 minute, and we'll be right back with our final guest, Ms. Nicole Mason, who is another powerhouse. Get ready. Brace yourselves.
That's my sister.
We'll be right back.
We have powerful words, we have powerful minds. We use our voices and freedom takes flight. And we're ready to work, we're ready to win. We have a strategy and now we can begin. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Now you are a champion. God is my witness. Imperfect perfection. Living my mission and winning. See, we are influencers. We have fear but don't stop. I have the confidence to rise to the top. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. All I need is inside of me. I am enough and now I see. Yeah, I will reach my destiny. Yeah, I don't need your permission. Yes, I'm on a mission. I'll win. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now listen, I want y'all to repeat after me, okay? Because we're going to make some declarations in here today. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say, I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. Say, I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see me. Say, I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say, we are standing bolder, we're shoulder to shoulder. We are standing bolder, we're shoulder to shoulder. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Hey, yeah. We have powerful words, we have powerful minds. We use our voices and freedom takes flight. And we're ready to work, we're ready to win. energy, and now we can begin. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Now you are a champion. God is my witness. Imperfect perfection. Living my mission and winning. See, we are influencers. We have fear but don't stop. I have the confidence to rise to the top. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over.
Playtime is over. That is Tammy Turner. If you don't know her, you better Google her, look her up. She is a writer. She's a songstress. She's a producer. She wrote, produced, and performed that song for my conference that was just in November, the Playtime is Over Women's Business Conference. So we thank her so much for allowing us to use that as our anthem, if you will, for this radio show. It just speaks volumes to what's needed if you're going to impact the world in a big way. You got to get out of your own way, and you have to really be of the mindset that playtime is over, that you are not playing with your gifts, your talents, and everything that God has given you, as Vita McCoy mentioned, that you already have it all in the seed. It's in the seed, and you just have to allow that thing to grow and to blossom. So now we have another amazing guest who is going to shut down the show in the house with us today. I love her dearly. I was cheesing all over that she was coming into the studio today. It's like, yes. You know how it's certain guests, you like, yeah, we got her. That's who this is. We got her. And her is Nicole Mason. Nicole Mason, let me tell you a little bit about her.
I'm here with the Cheryl Wood.
You guys who are with us still on Playtime is Over, who are still with us on Facebook Live, make sure you share this out, because it's going to be some juicy stuff that you're going to hear in the next 40 minutes or so of the final closing of our segment. So Nicole Mason serves as an ambassador for the American Heart Association. After losing her mom from heart disease and being diagnosed herself shortly thereafter, she's on a mission to share her story in an effort to help other women take control of their health so they can live purpose-filled lives to make impact in their spheres of influence. She's a wife, she's a mother, she's an attorney, she's a preacher, she's an executive leadership coach, and a best-selling author. So her and Vita clearly are related, because they are multi-talented and multifaceted. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You look amazing.
Thank you.
I've been seeing you on this journey you on.
Woo, take a deep breath.
And you know what I love about it is that I'm not a runner, but
Neither am I.
I know, right?
Neither am I.
That's why it connects with me so good, because I'm like, I know she ain't no runner, but you are pushing through.
Absolutely.
So why don't you tell us about what this journey is that you're on right now, so that people can kind of, they'll follow you on Facebook and social media so they can keep up, but just tell us a little bit more.
So first and foremost, I have to say a great big thank you to you, sister. I love you, love you, love you.
I love you more.
And I so appreciate you and all the work that you do for women globally. And I'm just so delighted to be attached to you. I think the first thing that I want to say, in this season, people need to be sure that their connections are divine connections, right? That can take me down a whole nother,
I know, right? We
whole
know.
nother space.
We read, y'all heard me say
okay,
preacher.
right? That can take me down a whole nother space. So thank you so much. So first, I decided last year that I would share my story and share my mom's story. And as God would have it, the commercial that I decided that I would share my information, put the information in at 2 p.m. At 4 p.m., they were calling saying, we want you.
Wow.
So I was like, okay. And I wasn't so sure how it would play out, but it's taken on a life force of its own, really. It has. And they've used that commercial. They've done several spin-offs of it. It's in airports, on digital boards, and newspapers, different magazines, over 12 media outlet markets. I didn't expect it to do all that, but that was an indication for me that this was something that God was pushing me towards. And of course, many people have diagnoses, but they don't share them, and that's their prerogative not to or to do so. But I felt led to share. I felt that it was the time for me to share my mom's story, and then myself being diagnosed shortly after my mom passed away, I said, okay, it's time. So I've made a purposeful, intentional decision that things will not end for me the way that they ended for my mom. And so with that, of course, it's me taking control of my health and just how even I became an ambassador for the American Heart Association. That was God divine. And they reached out to me asking if I wanted to participate or if I knew someone who wanted to participate in the Couch to 5K program in conjunction with WUSA 9. Well, I didn't know it was going to be televised. Okay. I just thought it was a program that they were sponsoring. Right. And after I said yes, the media director for the American Heart Association says, and WUSA 9 is going to be monitoring y'all's progress every week. I'm like, what?
Right.
It's one thing to train. It's another thing to train in public.
Yes.
And so I'm just really excited about it. I have 3 goals with this program. Of course, my number 1 goal is my overall health and wellness, because I am on 2 medications that are small dosages, but medicine nonetheless. And it took me some time to wrap my mind around that. Yeah. And so for the first couple of years after my mom passed, after I was diagnosed, I was up and down with my medication, you know, on it, off it, on it, off it. And I'm talking to those folk who you're like that. And then I just decided to be intentional about working in conjunction with the medication. And then my doctor says, if you lose 25 pounds, I can take you off the medication. Wow. So I'm 11 pounds down. Woo-hoo, right? So I'm very intentional. So that's my second goal, to get off the medications. And then my third goal is just to be an example to the women that I am privileged and honored to serve and to lead. So I'm excited about this journey. This is my 5th week. Last week was hard. And I am intentional about coming all the way across the finish line and making this a part of my regimen, my exercise regimen. And actually, I started running on my own, but there's a difference when you have a set schedule, right? Right. Like, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. It's so true. Well, no, honey. In this program, it's 3 runs a week.
Wow.
And each week you increase your time for running. So this week we're up to 4 minutes run, 2 minutes walk. Yeah.
Got it.
Right.
I got it.
So next week we'll up like 5 minutes.
Right.
Okay. You got to get your mind right. Running is not for the faint of heart. I'm gonna tell you that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm excited about it.
I just gotta say, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
This is the first time I'm hearing the full story of it, right? I've seen the snippets on Facebook, and I try to stay up, abreast of what you're doing through Facebook.
You can't stay abreast because you're busy.
I know. And I'm like, let me check out Nicole. If I don't see you come up on my feed, and a whole lot of people I go looking for on Facebook. I look for you. If you don't come up on my feed, I got to go see what she's doing.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I've been so inspired by seeing that you said yes to such a public journey. Because I get that. Because sometimes you have your days, you have your moments, but I love that you said yes to the public part of it, and then that you're keeping up with it every time. Like, you don't know this, but I'll be pulling my pom-pom up for you. I'll be like, you better doing it from home.
Girl, you better You better record that, because I need that. On some of those days, I'm just going to hit that button like, okay, all right.
I am cheering for you because I know how hard it is. I'm in my own health and wellness journey, and we haven't really had time to talk about it, but I started this journey in January the 2nd. So I'm on week 8, and I haven't shared it publicly yet because sometimes you talk about something, and sometimes you're just like, look, I just want the results to speak for itself. I'm in that season. So the results are speaking, and they will keep speaking, hunting. So it'll be. I know that God will tell me when it's time to say it out loud. But so I understand the struggle of it and trying to get your health. Well, for me, it was. I went to the doctors, and I don't go to the doctors often because I don't like going to the doctor. Anyway, I had to go to the doctor for something, and I got checked. And on the little slip, it was like one of those patient first facilities. And on the little slip that they printed out for me, it said pre-hypertension. And that was such a huge wake-up call for me. Like really, Cheryl, this is where you at, and you okay with this? No, I'm not okay with this. And that caused me to start shifting and changing exercise, what I eat, how often I eat, and I realized how much willpower I have. If I don't want it, I have the willpower to say no. And just like you, I know you have to have the willpower to say, okay, I'm going for this run 3 times a week. So I'm just so proud of you. Keep up the great work.
I had to keep my mind right.
You got to keep your mind right.
But and this is the thing. For me, the whole example and the message is for us to do it before we get these diagnoses, before somebody says you have heart disease, your cholesterol is it's not even on the chart, right?
Yeah.
Or you're pre-diabetic. And then the other thing, one of the biggest hindrances to women of color is our hair. And so God gave me a message several months ago. You can buy some hair, but you can't buy a heart. I mean, like, come on. Come on.
So true.
You know, so even in that, I am just really being an example. So this week, my hair is up. Next week, I'll wear it curly.
Yes.
The following week, I'll wear it straight. So all of that. And I want people to take note of all of that.
Yeah.
Because I'm managing all of it.
Yes.
Because it's one of those things that you have to be intentional about what you're doing, how you're doing it, and you can't really work and you're sick.
Right.
You know, as much as you and I both travel, you need strength and energy to go through the airport. We were talking about that when we were in Atlanta or wherever we were. Florida. Yeah.
I need some CPR on the way. Like, that's some nonsense.
You need strength to travel. You need strength, and your immune system needs to be together. When you get on these planes with the recycled air, all of that is a part of your health and wellness.
Yes.
So, you know, God has called us to the nations. We're global.
Yes.
We're making global impact.
Yes.
And you can't do that sick.
That's
and
right.
I want to run this race until my heart completely lets out. I don't want anything to slow me up. And I felt that this was important. My doctor said to me when I was going back and forth with him about this medicine, I don't want to be on medication. I'm too young to be on medicine. He's like looking at me like, really? He said, well, let me show you this. He said, you can either have your health go like this, or you can have it go like that. Right? That's exactly what I did too. Because I'm visual too.
Yes.
And so this is a gradual decline, which we're human, which is what the way that we should decline.
Yes.
But when you're not taking care of yourself, this is what happens. You go down just like that. Right?
Yeah.
And so I've just been very intentional about engaging the process, because that's what this is. It's a process, and we must learn to engage the process. And if that means taking the medication until you can get off because your health is well enough to do that, and not take yourself off.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Take yourself off.
You are just hitting home on so many points, and I love that you say, you know, you're very intentional and you want to impact other people by seeing that you're walking the talk, even when it's hard. And I made that same decision when I came into this new year back on I started this health and fitness regimen on January the 2nd. And I said, and this was not any judgment to people who choose to do it a different way. This was just, I want to be the poster child for, you can release the weight and all the things that come with it, the you know, pre-hypertension or hypertension or whatever, and you can do it without going under the knife. So that's my personal
don't get me started.
Tagline is that you can do it through diet and exercise. You don't have to go under the knife. And I'm not judging anybody who makes that decision for themselves, but for me, I want to be the poster child for the other way.
Well, my thought is, even if you do it under the knife, don't have people thinking that you didn't. Okay, now I'm going to just leave that right there.
Exactly.
I'm going to leave that right there.
I know. And then they ain't telling the truth. Tell the truth.
Right. And so for me, and I agree wholeheartedly with you, to really make a decision on sharing it, number one. And and that's a mindset.
Yes.
You really have to wrap your mind around, okay, number one, I need to do this. And then number two, I'm going to let people in on doing it, right?
Yes.
So I say to you, and I applaud you for taking that step. And you and I have had those conversations behind the scene. But, you know, when you're ready, that's when you should share and release, because it's too much pressure.
Right.
It really is. It's too much pressure. You know, I have people coming up to me at church on Sunday, oh my God, you're an inspiration, you're motivation. And I'm thinking to myself, girl, you better back away from me, because I almost didn't make it last week. And I don't know about next week. Okay.
Right.
So it's a lot of pressure. But, you know, for me, every time I get out there and I run, I just feel like I'm in a fight. I feel like I'm in a fight for my life, which I am, and for, those coming behind me. Because I started to think about it a few weeks ago. My grandmother didn't have heart disease. My grandmother lived to be 81 years old, was strong and healthy as a horse. Her body just shut down from dementia, right? My mom, where did it come from?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So you really have to start thinking about those things. I'm like, oh, okay, no. This is a spiritual and a generational thing that's trying to enter into the bloodline. But guess what? We have the power, even in that regard, to fight back. So faith without works is dead. So I'm working my faith, and I'm putting the work to it by exercising and changing my diet and, getting enough sleep. Some folks just need to go to bed. You just need to go to sleep. Okay? You just need to go to sleep. And you need to drink plenty of water. There's something to be said about sleep. Those folks who say, I can just go off of 4 hours of sleep. Right. The body wasn't designed that way. And particularly for women. Now, my husband, he can go, go, go. Women, our bodies aren't designed that way. We need to rest our bodies. And some people, they just need rest.
That's so true, man. You hit on so many
points. They just need to
go to sleep. Some
go to sleep. Take to the bed, as the old folk would say. Take to the bed.
And so I love that you talk about how it really is a mindset thing and a mental thing. So this thing that I'm on with the changing my eating, and I mean, sometimes it can make me really angry because I want a piece of bread real bad. But I found that it was such a mental journey that I had to go get a journal book. That's what I was saying with Vita. I had to go get a journal and start journaling about my emotions and how I felt, and I felt like up, down, high, low, up. I was like, what is going on with me? I was grouchy. I mean, I'm getting better now because I'm in week 8. Yeah. But that first, it was.
But you do understand that food, the emotion to eat is very strong.
Yes.
And this is why fasting and praying must go hand in hand, because eating is one of our strongest emotions and one of our strongest, our strongest urges. Yes. And if you can control that, then you can control almost anything. Yeah. Right?
I was saying this earlier that I took Gianna to a birthday party this weekend, and they had it at the Sugar Factory, which is in Pentagon City. I'd never been there before, and they bring out all of this food, and it's just, the person who hosted it, she kind of, she goes above and beyond. So she had plenty, and they sit in big pans of pasta with Alfredo sauce in front of me, and cheeseburger sliders, and buffalo wings. Right. I was just like, can you pass me the water, please? I was trembling, trying to get to the water. And we were there for like 2 hours. And then they had cake, cheesecake, and ice cream.
That's real talk. That's real talk.
But let me tell you, I felt so proud of the willpower that I exerted in that space, because I could have, if I was going to break, that was the moment to break. Yes. And I was like, no, you've come this far. You can do this. So it really was mind over matter. Absolutely. And knowing what the ultimate result is that I want and being connected to that. And another thing is, don't you find that as you shift and change, that it creates shift and change in your household? Because we both have young kids.
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Let me tell you something. We still this is week 5 only. So I haven't gotten there yet. So you're for a little bit further along. They want to, but then they look over. They like, nah, that's all right, mommy. Yeah. Oh, you not eating that? Okay, so that's more for me now. For those of you who don't know, I have 3 sons. Okay, I'm the only woman in the house, the only estrogen. So they're like, okay, mommy, that's good. You're doing good. And my husband, he supporting me, rah, rah. But at the same time, he's like, okay, this is what we're going to do over here. We haven't gotten there yet. But okay, I think it's going to happen.
It is. Now, I'll clarify. My kids and my husband still eat crap. They do. But they're a little more prone to eat stuff that I'm bringing. So I'm bringing in healthier food, so they're eating healthier food. Yes. So not all the time. It's not like 100% turnaround. But they are, I see little changes. Like I'm bringing more apples and oranges and grapes instead of crap. And so they eat what I bring in the house. Yeah. So I'm saying like little, but they still want their Popeyes.
Very little. Very little.
But I figure my thought is I'm going to get me right. Yes. I'm going to help get y'all right.
There you go.
Because I can't help you if I ain't help me first.
That's right.
So I don't judge them. I don't try to make them eat what I eat, but I find that they are starting to like pick off of my food that I cook, because I cook separate meals for me, because it has to be prepared a certain way. No, none of that seasoning and all that kind of stuff. So if it's salmon and cabbage, I find that they are nibbling off of my stuff. I'm like, oh, you like that, huh?
Yeah.
So I know that that's going to lead to the bigger change of all of us living a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I like that. And we eat out a lot less. Oh my God, we used to, I was bad, Nicole.
Yeah.
We would eat out 3-4 times a week. Why are we at Olive Garden in the middle of the week? Why are we at Outback the next day? Why are we? What's that about? So I'm saving money.
Yes.
And I'm saving our lives because we ain't eating all of that crap. I'm doing a lot more cooking at home. So it really is a good thing for everybody that's involved.
Yeah, it's a good thing. And, change takes time.
Yes.
Right? Change takes time. And change is hard, although it's very necessary.
Yes.
It's hard.
Yes.
And so for me, it's just really about allowing my own process to evolve in front of them.
Yep.
And it's really a mindset. So, when they see me say, oh, I'm not eating that, and they know that I love these certain types of foods, when I'm like, no, I don't want that. They're like, okay, she really is serious.
She's serious.
So it's taken some time, but I'm looking forward to it. So you're absolutely correct. It just takes some time. And
you never know. A lot of times your example is what will wear off on them.
Absolutely.
Even without them saying it or acknowledging it. My kids know every Tuesday I go and get weighed in. And I always think they're going to forget. And every Tuesday I come home, I pick them up from school, and they're like, so, Mommy, what was it? How did it go?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you remember that?
Yes.
And when I tell them, if it was a good week and I lost weight or whatever, I tell them how many pounds I released or whatever. They're like, yay! And they're clapping. And I'm like, it makes me feel so good that they're watching me make the sacrifice. And you're talking about, we went to see Black Panther at the movie. I can't have no popcorn. I can't have a hot dog. I used to enjoy that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So when I talk about a mental thing, like it has taken a lot for me to get to the place where I'm like, food is not the only thing that makes me happy.
yes.
And I felt very connected to food in just a way that I never, ever imagined.
Yeah.
So writing it and journaling about it and just allow myself, like you said, to evolve and go through the process and get in touch with my emotions. I'm like, okay, why are you so angry right now? Because you can't have a piece of bread. Why are you so mad, Cheryl? Why are you so mad?
That's why when you fast, baby, you have to really get yourself in that word, because it's really something to it.
Yes.
But I'll tell you, when I went to Europe 2 years ago, and I realized that we in America eat for taste. And while I was there, I was eating for survival, because, my palate wasn't used to some of those foods there.
Right.
And so I had a lot of dry foods that I took with me. And, of course, I got fruit and stuff there. And I lost several pounds while I was there. I was there for 2 weeks preaching and teaching. And then when I came back, for a little while, I kind of maintained it. But I really realized that huge lesson while I was there. I'm like, I don't need all of this food. I don't need all of that seasoning. I don't need all of that stuff that we put on it. You can really make a change. But again, it's a mindset.
Yeah, and your taste buds will adjust.
Absolutely.
You will start off saying, I don't want that. You might be angry. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of anger. It's going to be hard.
Yes.
Because I was like, I'm used to, I like my food seasoned heavy.
Yes.
Especially if I'm doing something blackened or whatever, I like it seasoned very heavy.
Yeah.
And it really took a while for me to get to this place now where I'm like, okay, well, let me pull back. And I did it slowly but surely. It's like, let me pull back from a little bit of the salt. Let me pull back from a little bit of this. Like just, until my taste buds, they adjust.
They adjust.
And before you know, you tasting stuff like, this is just too salty. This is too salty.
That's where I am now.
Right.
Like, I just told Sean, my husband, that. I'm like, oh, no, that's too salty. I don't want that. And this is something that I enjoy. I love eating, but it was just too salty. So I know that we can do it, and really our lives depend on it. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women in this country.
Yeah.
It really is an epidemic, but no one is talking about it like that.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
When you think 1 in 3 women die from heart disease, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And so for me, it's really about taking the message in our community that we really need to focus on our health. And we need to be having these conversations more. And you know me, I love to encourage, I love to empower, bring and preach and all of that. But let's also interject the conversation about our health so we can do all those things.
Yeah. And you know, one of the things I found I was complaining about, and I had to shift not only my mindset, but what I'm saying out of my mouth was, you know, now that I'm on this, you know, eating healthy or whatever, it's so expensive. So I go to the store and I get these, what's the good apples? The
Gala apples.
But what's the one that's like $4 a pound? I can never remember the name of the darn apple. Somebody on here knows, y'all. What's the name of the apple that's like $4 a pound? They the sweetest apple. It's I'll think of it. Anyway, they $4 a pound. I get up to the register. I got 7 apples in the bag. It's $24. I'm just fussing. $24 for 7 apples? Oranges, $1.25 per orange. Like, I'm like, it's crazy how expensive it is. And then you have to consistently be at the grocery store because vegetables don't stay good for long. So I'm always going to getting tomatoes, cucumbers, cabbage, lettuce, right? But what I said was I shifted and was like, well, would you rather spend the money on healthy food or would you rather have to be spending on medications and being in somebody's hospital because you didn't take care of yourself? Sometimes it's just little things like that, what you say to yourself that matters.
Absolutely.
So what's your ultimate goal? Is there like a end game, a finish, you know, this is the finish line? Like, oh, if I want to get across that line?
Well, the first one is to get through this 5K. That is my finish line for this here training program. June 9th, Lawyers Have Heart. That's the 5K.
Awesome.
So I want to get through that. And then I'm really, of course, going to incorporate it more into my ministry, into my business, what I'm doing, and really helping women to incorporate that into their lives. Again, you need your health in order to execute and implement the call on your life, whatever that is.
Yes.
And so I know that everything is purposeful. And for me, really taking the pain of losing my mom, because that was, taking that pain and making it purposeful.
Yes.
You know, and really understanding that everything that happens to us is purposeful. It's so that God can get the glory out of our lives, even the most devastating of situations. I've heard you speak on many occasions about your dad and how you have taken hold of that story and making it work for you in the sense that it's not just a story. It's what I'm doing with the story that makes the difference. It's what I'm doing with the pain that makes the difference. And so I don't just want my mom's legacy in life to have a period at the end. I'm putting the exclamation point on it, where I am saying, this is what happened to her. I've taken this. You can use information one of two ways. You can take it and you can just let it sit there, or you can take it and you can appropriately apply it to your life.
Yes.
So I'm taking that lesson. You know, my mom loved a Pepsi and a cigarette.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
Pepsi, and the colder, the better.
Right.
You know, no exercise nowhere, honey. She was a fly girl, all right? Her nails matched her undergarments, you know. Underwear and bra matched, and nails matched. I mean, she was just a fly girl, right? But being a fly girl also means taking care of your health.
Yes.
So I'm taking that and I'm just adding to it because I have the say-so of how my story ends.
Yes.
And it's just that simple. So I'm hijacking my amygdala for those coaches out there.
Now.
I'm hijacking my amygdala, the part of the brain that is the decision maker. Yes. And I'm saying that this is how I'm living. Take all of the lessons that she gave me that were good and those lessons that she did not mirror for me so well, then I have a choice to make them better, right? You know, we don't want to talk about stuff like that. You know, everybody want to make like their parents were so awesome. No, they weren't.
And we got to stop just looking good on the outside.
Absolutely. That's the whole point of the red pen symbol for Wear Red Day and American Heart Month is the red dress. that you need to look good on the outside and also focus on the inside as well.
Yes, and I love that you're doing both because you're doing both very well.
Thank you.
You are that. Every time I see you in the red, I be like, I told you I be cheering. I be snapping and cheering and all kind of stuff at my house. You don't hear me, but you hear me. You know I was there.
Yes.
Somebody said, Veronica and Amina said, it's Honey Crisp apples. That's what it is. It's them Honey Crisp apples. Them daggone $4 a pound apple. Got to the register, 7 apples at $24. I'll get over it at some point.
Absolutely.
Let me ask this question. So, I love this fire that you have and this energy that you have for helping to teach other women and doing it not just through what you're saying vocally or verbally, but through your own walking the talk. So, what happens when you do have a moment, when you do have or if you have I fell down? Like, can you talk about the importance of giving ourselves grace and getting back up and jumping back on the bandwagon and not feeling like, I heard someone say, you know how sometimes when you go you're starting to change your eating and things, right? And you messed up. Let's just call it a mess up. And you went and ate something you didn't want to eat or you shouldn't have eaten. And somebody said, I used to always be like, oh, that was such a bad, I had a bad day today. And the person was like, it's not a bad day, it was a bad meal. So talk about the importance of bouncing back when you fall down, or maybe it wasn't, quite the day that you wanted it to be, whether it was related to exercise or eating or whatever it might be. I just talk about that because I think that's important that people understand just because you fell down or you tripped doesn't mean that's the end of it.
Well, for me, I'm not going to let anybody else do me like that, not even myself. And so you can always start again. Right? I've just never been one to allow condemnation to overwhelm me because that's what it is. It's condemnation.
I love that.
Right? Listen, if you're in Christ, there's therefore no more condemnation for them that believe. That's for the faith walkers.
All right.
For those who may not be in the faith, you have to give yourself grace. I love that. Yeah. You have to give yourself the opportunity to succeed, right? And so that means that you have to be willing to get over yourself.
Yes,
right?
Get over yourself.
Get over yourself and just get back in the race. This is how we're able to make strides in our lives, because if you stay in that space too long where you're just, oh, woe, it's me, you're wasting time.
Yes.
And the reality for me, sis, is that time is of the essence. We don't have a whole lot of time to waste and to burn because none of us know the day nor the hour when our number is called. And so I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time brouhahaing over something that I can change.
Yes.
Stuff that I can't change, like flipping the switch to get my mama back here. Now, that's something that you brouhaha over. But something that I can change, I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time on it. It's like, Nicole, get yourself back in there. Whoever you are, you've got to learn how to talk to yourself. Your grandmama told you that, right? My grandmama says it's all right to talk to yourself as long as you don't talk back.
That's right.
All right. And some people talk back. You know, I find myself sometimes I either talk back, right? But however you do it to encourage yourself, you've got to stay in that mode, and you have to have people around you that will encourage you.
Yes.
You have to have a good support system to say, okay, now, yes, we ate that, but let's go. But for me, sis, I give myself the latitude.
Yes.
Now, my guilty pleasure is goobas, okay?
Is that right?
Let me tell you something. Like people drink wine, when they have a hard day, they're like, I need a drink of wine. Honey, I need a box of goobas. My husband has gone on excursions looking for goobas for me.
Oh, my God, I love it.
And guess what? I allow myself the guilty pleasure.
Yes.
Right? I don't espouse to taking everything from yourself because I think that sets you up for failure.
I agree.
And the other thing is don't compare yourself to anybody else.
Yes,
right?
you say that.
Set yourself up for failure. No, run your race, stay in your lane, and do it the way that it's beneficial for you. And so when you do fall off, you just have to give yourself the latitude to just get back up.
That's it.
And don't spend a whole lot of time on it. Because you don't have the time.
You don't have the time.
Right?
It is so not about perfection. It's about progress.
Absolutely.
And we've heard that before, but you got to post that somewhere. Put it up on it's not about perfection. It's about progress. So like you said, I mean, you have to give yourself a little bit of leeway and don't be so hard on yourself and beating yourself down because you made it, fell off the track. All right, get back on track.
Absolutely.
You know, it's almost like if somebody, I've never seen nobody fall on the ice and just be like, no, I'm good. I'm going to stay right here. I'm just going to lay right here. And people come by, let me help you. Nope, I don't want no help.
Right.
Like, you got to allow yourself the grace and the opportunity to get back up and just keep it moving. So let's go back really quickly to talk about, and then I want to give you a chance to talk about anything else that you would like to express while you're here. But let's go back to talking about this running thing, right? I'm just so tickled with the running because I think the most I've done is like the 2-1, 2-1, 2-1.
Yeah.
Child, you up to 4-1? Is it 4-1 or
4-2?
4-2. Bless your heart. And you about to do 5. I'm praying for you.
Yeah.
I'm cheering for you and snapping for you over at my house.
Right.
But for somebody who has been, because I think a part of the thing that you're going to be doing, you said, is from the couch to the 5K or something like that. So for people who are finding themselves right now in a space where they have become very sedentary, what's some startup things that they can do? Like, what would you encourage them to do just to at least put themselves on a trajectory where they're shifting from the behavior that they're doing, that they're currently engaged in?
Yeah.
As it relates to, exercise and physical movement.
I think the first thing is a mindset, and you have to have a why, because your why is going to have to outweigh your discomfort.
Y'all better tweet that.
Yeah.
What Oprah say? That's a tweet. That was a tweet right there. Your why has to
outweigh your discomfort. And that's with anything. The call on your life, your purpose that you're implementing and executing, whatever it is that you have yourself involved in establishing your goals, your why for doing whatever you do has to outweigh your discomfort, because you're going to have moments and times where you're not going to feel like doing it. So your why has to be bigger. So that's the first thing. Why do you want to do it? And the other part of that, or the other end of the spectrum, is why are you just sitting there?
Right.
When you know you need to be moving. These bodies were made to move, okay?
That's so
why are you sitting there? And so really having a conversation with yourself to really figure out, how did I get here? Why am I here? And what am I going to do about it?
Yes.
And then once you get started, I always tell people, you can just start walking. You can just start walking, and it doesn't take a whole lot of effort to walk. You don't need to try to do, your power walk or anything. Just walk.
I agree.
Get out. Get up from behind the computer. Get up and move your body. You sleep better. Your blood pumps through your body better. All of the benefits that come along with it. You sweat, getting these toxins out of our bodies because the environment and the air is just horrible. So all of those things, God already thought about these things.
Right. Isn't that beautiful?
We don't have to do a lot. We just have to participate. So I would just say, get your why, and then just start. The other thing that's really good is really having an accountability partner.
Yes.
Working with this group of 6 people on Team Heart Love, it's been awesome and amazing because we've been encouraging each other and, rooting each other on.
Yeah.
So get you an accountability partner, somebody else who has a similar interest as you about health and getting on the right track. And then overall, you just have to put the work in.
Yes.
You just got to put the work in and give yourself a break when you just don't feel like it.
Yeah. I love all of those were powerful takeaways and things that you can just do. Get moving. Like you said, your body was made to move. And I love that you are giving people permission to, you don't have to go and go hard. Oh, I'm going to run or I'm going to power walk. Just walk. Just walk. A basic leisurely walk will do your heart great.
Absolutely.
I think they say, 30 minutes a day, something
30
like
minutes.
that? You got to start talking to yourself differently and saying, I owe it to myself.
Absolutely.
I deserve this 30 minutes. I tell myself that. I've started implementing walking as a part of my journey because I felt like my body was used to what I was doing, which was going to the gym and doing the elliptical, and nothing was happening. I was kind of plateauing. So I was like, okay, let me implement walking because that has worked for me before. So I just increased the amount of time that I walk, but it's still pretty much the same pace. And it works.
Yeah.
So you're right. The body is made to move. Get out and move. Get up and do something. And the accountability piece is huge.
Yeah.
So for me, the physician that I hired to help me create this specific eating, this diet, if you will, or lifestyle change, I don't care what you call it, it's hard.
Right.
He is my accountability partner.
Yes.
Why? Because he created the plan for me to follow. And he holds me accountable because I have to go and weigh in every Tuesday to see what progress I'm making. He allows me to share, what my challenges were. If I don't lose in a particular week, what did you do different? So we assess that and we talk about that. And then he's one of my biggest cheerleaders.
Yeah.
I literally literally, this doctor allows me, I was on Facebook the other day, and I was so proud of my little self that I had made this yummy little meal, this delicious, healthy meal. I took pictures of the meal, and I sent it to him on Facebook. I was like, oh my God, Doc, look at my meal. And he was just as tickled and proud. He was like, you're my superstar. I know.
Yeah.
And I love that
Yeah.
because it encourages me and it keeps me fueled for the work that I have to do, which is hard. And I think that's another big piece. Just acknowledge it's going to be hard.
Right.
Like, stop running from it being hard. And sometimes I wanted it to be hard the way I wanted it to be hard. And what I mean by that was, for the past several years, what I would do, Nicole, was go into the gym, hire a trainer, and I'm sweating, and I'm working, and I'm doing, them little rope things, and I'm jumping up and down, I'm doing all of this physical activity, but I didn't want the eating part to be hard.
Right.
So I wanted it to be hard on my terms.
Right, yeah.
Not on, look, this is what's really going to get you the results. And for me, it had to be, Cheryl, it's going to be hard for you to shift the way you eat and think about food.
Yeah.
And once I acknowledged that this year, that the way you eat, changing that is going to be hard. One of the hardest things you've ever done. Stepping away from bread, stepping away from the sugars and the sodium and all the other crap you're putting in your body is going to be hard. And that's why I went and got a journal. Because, I was grouchy.
Yeah.
So you just share such amazing content. Is there anything else that you want to share, things that you're working on, projects, way people can support you and how they can connect with you?
Okay, so great. So I have so much stuff going on.
I know you do.
So I certainly want to encourage people to download my app. I'm so excited about that. Yes.
The app. Congratulations.
Thank you. Really excited about that. And the app is just daily motivation for women who are on the move. Just momentum. So I'll send a notification. Show up great today, sister.
Yes.
Right?
That's our hashtag, y'all.
Right.
Can y'all put that in the
Show up
hashtag?
great, right?
Show up great. Show up
and
great.
so I'll send out a notification. I do a new blog post every week, just encouraging women, particularly women such as yourself, women who are movers and shakers and need the momentum, maintaining your momentum, and really encouraging women to be your best self without apology, right? So have the app going on. Of course, I'm starting a mentoring program.
Awesome.
There's so many people like, oh, can you mentor me? Can you mentor me? So if you want to find out about the mentoring program, you can go to showupgreat@gmail.com, or you can go through my website, NicoleSMason.com. That's going to be starting in April.
Awesome.
And we have a small group of people that I'm going to be working with so that I can give people their attention. And we're going to be talking about purpose and vision and building a plan around what you say God has called you to do. And so then I'll be an accountability partner for those people in my mentoring program. I, of course, am working on a book collaboration, and the ladies are excited about that. So we're going to be releasing that tomorrow, actually, releasing the information about the book. So we have that going on, my coaching program, all those different parts of me that really are designed to build women up, coaching high executive women, women who are rising but don't have anybody to share the space and hold the space for them.
Yeah.
So I serve as a coach and confidant for women leaders in ministry and the marketplace. So people can reach out to me, NicoleSMason.com. That's my website. And I'm Nicole S. Mason across social media. And I'm just excited about all that God is doing, and I appreciate Him. My life has taken on a whole force of its own, but that's because I've sown much.
Yes.
I have sown much.
Yes, you have.
And I am in the reaping stage. And, I haven't always, received it, but I am just that. I'm in the reaping stage. So I have lots of other things coming up, and I like to drip my content out.
Yes.
So you all can just follow me, and you'll hear about it.
She's
right?
Googlicious too. She's Googlicious. You can Google her, or you can go to her website. You can connect with her on social media. I have to say, you have been such a blessing to my life and my journey. One of the things I always say about you, and I talk about you frequently when I'm speaking and talking to other people, is that you're one of my prayer warriors. But so much, I don't want to say so much bigger than that, because that's probably the biggest piece, that you're one of my prayer warriors. But you are, for me, a safe space that I can come and I can share. And I know it's not going anywhere. It's not going past you and I. And I know also that I can be authentic and in my raw truth about what I'm feeling in that moment, and that I'm going to get great advice, because everybody shouldn't be speaking into your life.
Absolutely.
You have to be very discerning about that. And so I thank God that He has placed you in my life to be someone who speaks into my life and gives me great advice, and I can vent, if you will, scream, holler, share, whatever it is. We laugh. We have our little laugh sometimes just because we need to get it off our chest and keep it moving. And I love that. And I'm so appreciative and grateful of the relationship that we have. Yeah. And you've supported me in my journey as well. And it's just been... I mean, I never forget that. I don't forget the people who have sown into me. So you're right. This is your season for reaping because you have sown. And I'm loving how God is just blessing it and blessing you. And I can't wait to support the things that you're continuing to do and how you're showing up great in the world, because that is absolutely what you do. You show up in a spirit of greatness and leadership and power, but also in humility. And I love being a part of that.
Thank you.
Yes. And you look gorge in that yellow. So thank you guys so much for being with us. I'm just going to quickly read some of the comments. Mary Huntley says, we have a phone call. Hello. Somebody's on the line with us. Yes. Hello. Did you have a question? Okay, maybe that's somebody who thought they were joining us. All right, so Ladrine says, may God continue to bless you. Hi, Kiana. Thanks for being here. Mary Huntley says, everybody cannot speak into your life. Amy Taylor says, Nicole Mason, congratulations on all the great things you're doing.
Thank you.
Let's see. Wanda Levinson says, Elder Mason has blessed me immeasurably.
Thank you.
Everybody's saying hashtag show up great, show up great. That's going to be trending. Let's see what else. We have Tawanda says, yes, consider it an invaluable investment in your business, the business of you. She talked about your books and how impactful they have been. Your why has to outweigh your discomfort. Yes, Ladrine. And then there's so many other comments, but we'll go back and read those after the show. Mary Huntley says, thank you so much, Elder Mason, for being such a blessing in my life and so many lives.
Thank you.
So, again, this has been another phenomenal show. We've talked with Nicole about all the great things that she has in the workings, how she's serving the world and impacting the world with her unique gifts, and just so multifaceted and multi-talented. And I love that you are encouraging people to walk into purpose and show up great, but make sure that your health and your inside is great, not just how you look on the outside.
Absolutely.
The internal is so just as important, equally as important as external and what you're showing to the world. So thank you for being here. Make sure you connect with her. Guys, we'll be here again next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Oh, my God. Our lineup and we need to have you come back. Our lineup for March is just, it's bananas. You do not want to miss next week. Next week is, so our March is the entire month is Women's History Month. So we're really bringing in some heavy hitters and power players. Our guest next week is going to be Nicole Walters. You guys may follow her on Instagram or social media. She quit her job, her good paying job on Periscope. That's what she's known for. She quit on Periscope and then built $1 million brand in a year. Within a year. And then we're also, I believe, going to have, I should have this in front of me, but I don't. We're going to have, Avis is going to be here. Avis.
Dr. Avis
Jones the Weaver. She will be here. You've seen her on CNN and every other platform. She'll be here. And we'll have Arsha Jones, who is the founder of the Mumbo sauce that you see in the stores, Capital City Mumbo sauce. So she'll be here. And the whole month is just fire. So make sure you tell somebody and you share this with somebody that they need to be here next Wednesday at 12 p.m. You need to mark it on your calendar. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next week. That was
We have powerful words. We have powerful minds. We use our voices and freedom takes flight. And we're ready to work.